I was the mom of a beautiful disabled daughter, Laura, and Laura just passed and went to heaven about 11 months ago.
Oh, my goodness.
And being the mom of a disabled child, I learned a lot about prayer. And then also being in ministry, I learned a lot about warfare. And I learned that you have to wrestle, you have to push back. And if it starts to get hot in the kitchen, that generally means that the Lord is about to move and the enemy is trying to distract you. And so the whole battle in warfare is really about our purposes. When each one of us has a purpose. For example, my daughter's purpose, disabled from a car accident, couldn't walk, was paralyzed, couldn't really say very many words, but her purpose was to love and to be loved. And everyone has that purpose. And then beyond that, we each have a unique purpose. And my purpose is to communicate and to inspire and to encourage other communicators. And so when I'm getting really close to that purpose, sometimes the enemy gives me a little pushback. And so what I have to learn how to do is to push through it. Because it's wrestling. We have to push through, and keeping our eyes on Jesus and realizing that He is the armor of our warfare. He is our salvation. He is our righteousness. He is our faith, and He's our peace. He is our shield, and He is our truth. And He's the one we're praying to, we're praying through, we're praying in, and when we put Him on, the devil is gonna take off. He's not going to want to hang around.
What did you find to be maybe one or two of the biggest spiritual challenges, especially in that season where you were dealing with your daughter going home to be with the Lord?
I think, grief is something that can really impact a person in a loss. And not only was I grief-stricken, I was really angry because someone at the hospital actually chose to discontinue my daughter's medication behind my back. And so I'm dealing with both grief and anger. And what I really had to do to get through it is I just had to give it to God. I had to say, God, I'm going to give you my grudge. It's not helping anything. I'm in a situation I can't really change what happened. I don't want to be stuck here in this anger. And when I gave God my anger, when I gave Him my grudges, that was the best way I could have fought that warfare because I got my joy back.
Well, obviously there is a grieving process.
Yes,
people
there
that
is.
have lost people close to them, loved ones, whatever the case may be, there is a healing that takes
Yes.
place in the midst of grief. But when you got grief and you got a grudge,
Yes.
banging up against each other, I guess, when that
Yep.
anger is there, there's your, would I be correct in saying there's your warfare
That's
point?
right.
That's what you really have to walk through, because if you get better, it seems like that would short circuit the healing or the restoration process.
That's right. I was one mad mama, you might say.
Yeah.
And angry bear mama, and yet that I didn't have an enemy to fight because it was over. The battle was over in terms of her life. But then I began to realize my daughter still exists. She's in heaven. And I feel like if she could speak to us right now, she would say, Mom, if you could only see me now. If you only could see how wonderful my life is now. Not that she didn't have love and joy in her life here on earth, but how much more with the Lord and with her grandpa. How much more. And we miss her terribly. But it was that moment I let go of my grudge that my joy began to come back. And the joy of the Lord is our strength. That is really the best way to defeat the enemy. It's just to trust God to the point that you can be joyful in trouble. The enemy cannot battle you when you are like that.